We are live! Hello everybody! It's a Monday night and we're finally back after a long weekend. Just kidding, we were here Friday night with internet problems. We weren't right here, but we were at Steph's place. Steph kindly let me use her apartment Wi-Fi just until mine gets figured out, and here I've got Wi-Fi. It's great. Hey Colton. And so it's Monday. We've got a lot to talk about, a lot of very important things. Hey Andrew. We've got a lot of important things to talk about. Hey Steph. Hey Joe. So our last live stream was from Steph's place, and that was good internet. Now we've got good internet, but we're gonna have Steph back on because it's always fun. We did a few TikTok videos, and they were freaking hilarious. I thought they were really funny. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. Go check out my TikTok page if you don't see TikTok. I've got them on my Instagram page, but I mean, sorry, on both. Well, I post them on my Instagram stories, so you won't see it if it was already up, but you can find it on my Twitter page too. So it was really funny. Steph doesn't want you to see them, but I think you should definitely see it because they're really funny. So yeah. Got a lot of people excited to talk about Tinder. Woohoo! Jack says nobody covers the issues quite as well as I do. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. So anyway, I was posting a little bit about Tinder, and every time I post something about, everyone thinks that it's me. I'm not talking about me. So let me tell you what I posted earlier today. Apparently, people are going on Tinder, posing as people looking for, okay, someone is asking what's Tinder. Okay, let's start from the beginning for all you people who want to learn your ABCs. Tinder is a dating app for meeting people. It's a little bit notorious for being like a hookup app because the standard for how much information you need to give is so low. Like, all you need to do is give your name, I think your age. You could probably make it up. You could probably make up your name and your age, and you don't even need to put in a description, just some pictures. And people, just based off your pictures, will swipe right when they see your face, which means that they want to match with you, or they will swipe left. Hey Stephanie! OMG, Stephanie Hazen is here. That is really cool. I love Stephanie. I love all the Stephs and the Stephanies. So yeah, basically you either swipe right if you want to match with a person. You swipe left if you don't want to match with a person, and anyone that you swipe right with, if they swipe right on you, then you'll be a match, and then you can message each other, and then you can either talk, or you can like meet up for a drink or a coffee or dinner or whatever you want to do in your case. Some people have formed serious relationships through Tinder. There are people who find serious relationships on Tinder, but Tinder is mostly known for being a hookup app. So all these people who are like, Tinder is so bad, a lot of people are on Tinder or have found people on Tinder and won't admit it. Zano says the Stephs have been largely cool and interesting. That's right. The Stephs are interesting and cool. And cool. And smart. And good friends. So, now that you know what Tinder is a dating app that is notorious for being a hookup app where you find people. Oh, and it finds people in your area. It doesn't find you people in Honolulu. It finds you, like, unless you live there, it finds you, like, in your, wherever you are, within, like, a half-a-mile radius. And depending on how many people are there, maybe it's even more than that. And Sam says the people I know on Tinder have self-esteem issues. Yeah, I mean, Tinder is, like, all kinds of people use Tinder. But Tinder is notorious for being a hookup app. So anyway, I've used Tinder. A lot of people have used Tinder. So there's apparently, what I tweeted today, apparently people are using Tinder in order to promote their social media accounts. So they'll basically post, and so Tinder recently has this thing where you can post your Instagram link and it will just connect, like, all your Instagram photos to your Tinder profile. So you don't have to, like, go back and check each time, like, you know, you don't have to, like, handpick every photo that you want on your Tinder profile. All you need to do is connect your Instagram, and that's it. People can just go and check out your photos on your Instagram page. So a lot of people find that convenient for dating, but a lot of people are finding that convenient for getting followers on Instagram. Haha. So basically what these people are doing is so another thing on Tinder is you have to set your preferences, like, you know, if you want to meet men or women or both, depending on your sexuality, your sexual orientation. So these people are clicking everybody. They don't have an age preference. They don't have a gender preference. They want to meet everybody, and they will swipe right on everybody. And their whole idea is that, and they look hot, right? And so their whole idea is people will swipe right on their sexy photos, and they'll be like, yes, I want to date that person. And they'll go through all your Instagram pictures and they'll follow you on Instagram. And that is a genius way for finding followers. So anyway, it's a genius way for finding followers, but it's also a genius way to ruin the Tinder experience, because now it's just promotional and people aren't finding real matches on Tinder. They're just finding scam artists who are looking for Instagram followers. Anyway, people who have ruined Tinder, since Tinder was so great to begin with, there are pros of being on Tinder. And there are obviously cons. Oh, let me give you another con. Hey, Rosemary. Let me give you another con of Tinder. Since we're already saying the negative things about Tinder. Don't worry, I will say the great things about Tinder. Why am I'm like locked out of my own computer. Oh yeah, here we are. So, man convicted of luring a young woman on Tinder date, then strangling and dismembering her. Who sees this in the news? There's basically, and I'm saying this like all loud, but it's really sad actually. This woman named Sydney Loof, a 24-year-old Nebraska girl, she was young, matched on somebody on Tinder. That somebody happened to be a 52-year-old crazy guy who kills her and dismembers her. That is really creepy. I see there are people on Twitch. That's really exciting. Thanks for joining me on Twitch. Someone is asking where I'm seeing the comments from. All of your comments are going to 1 section on my screen so I can see all of your comments. Whether you're on Twitch, what am I saying? Twitch, YouTube, or Periscope. Yeah, I can see all your comments. Not if you're on Tinder. If you're on Tinder, I can't see your comments. So it's really sad. This girl was like, this girl walked into a trap by being on Tinder, and it's really scary because that's the negative thing about Tinder is that you don't know who's at the other end. There's very little parameters for how much information they need to give. They could totally be lying about their age, lying about their gender. They could totally be a scam artist looking to scam people for Instagram followers. There are all kinds of scam artists that go on Tinder. There are people who do pranks on Tinder. There are people who pretend to be other people as a joke. People who do things for social experiments and then put videos of them online. There are plenty of those people. You've seen them. What else is there? I remember my first time ever being on Tinder. This is a while ago. I'm not on Tinder right now. In case you're going on Tinder looking for me, I am not on Tinder. You cannot find me. Anyway, when I did have a Tinder account, my first time, I went to meet with this guy. It was at it was like in like this fancy bar, and anyway, the guy was hiding. Like, I got there and the guy was like hiding, and then came out and was like, okay, just making sure that you're real. And I was like, why would you be making sure that I'm real? He said apparently there are old guys or, older guys who like, and this was like a younger guy. I mean, we were both younger. So older guys who like young dudes who will pose as girls on Tinder, as like young girls on Tinder, and prey on these young men. Is that crazy? Anyway, I thought it was funny at the time, but like looking back, I'm just like, holy shit. People are going on Tinder. They're not looking for little boys. They're looking for young men. Young men. Like 22 years old, 23 years old. It's an adult. It's a man. But they're young. And Jack says that happened to him. Yeah, it's crazy. This guy was literally hiding, and it wasn't even like a shady place. It was like a fancy place. He was hiding because he thought it was so someone is asking, why do you dabble in this stuff? I don't know. I wanted to go on a Tinder date. I wanted to check out Tinder. I was exploring. I had left the Orthodox community. I was like, I want to explore the land. So, anyway, those are the cons of Tinder. There's more cons of Tinder. You don't know who they are, so you have to be worried about like sexually transmitted diseases. You have to be worried about, who these people are. I mean, they could be anybody. It's just crazy. It's scary. So those are the cons of Tinder. If you are in like a fancy area, like if you're in a good neighborhood, usually it's a little bit easier to match with people, especially at night. You know what I mean? At night, if you're like scrolling through your Tinder at night, there's very little chances if you are in a nice neighborhood. And you don't have a very wide range of people that you can match with. If you're in a nice neighborhood and you're scrolling at night, there are very few chances. There's very little chance that you're going to end up with some, scammy dude who doesn't belong there because, where would they be? I mean, they would be in that area at night. Where would they be sleeping? It's not like they would find that. So someone is asking me, how do I meet people now? It's always different. I used to meet a lot of people on Tinder, but like the thing is, in the past, I can't do it anymore. First of all, I'm not really in that. I feel like I've already explored Tinder, so I don't really need to explore it. But also, I mean, I would actually. I was thinking about it, but the thing is that people see your profile. It's real. There are a lot of cons. There are a lot of cons. Tinder, and it's also kind of a waste of time. Because there's very little chance that you're actually gonna form like a real relationship on Tinder. So it becomes a little bit of a waste of time. You just end up, I don't know. You might as well just put your effort, especially if you're busy, you might as well just put your effort into someone that finding someone that you're actually gonna have a real relationship with. Or some kind of real interaction with. That's real. That's not Alright, so Iman says, meet yourself and others will meet you. I agree. Jeremy says, I have lost brain cells listening to this. I have not had brain cells from the beginning, so I feel you. Well, join the club. So, anyway, the cons of Tinder, you heard, not safe, not safe, not safe, probably STDs, not safe. So that's the cons of Tinder. And also that people will find your profile and then screenshot it on Tinder, on Twitter. Is someone, can you guys hear me? Because I've been getting a lot of comments on the, can you guys hear me? Let's try this. All right. Can you hear me better now? Raymond says, I've always met good women at the bar. You know what? I've met people at the bar too, and that's it's actually good. I mean, it's not great, but there are pros to meeting people at bars too. Basically, if you want a real relationship, you should try and ask your friends. Don't go on Tinder and don't really look in bars for a real relationship. The pros of meeting people on Tinder. So if you are interested in a hookup, which a lot of people often are, or whether or not you realize it in your dating experience, you might be looking for a hookup and not a date. Especially if you're looking for you're looking to have butterflies and be infatuated right away and la-di-da. You're probably looking for a hookup. You're probably not looking for a real relationship, because real relationships are not fantasies. Real relationships are real human beings, not like made up people in your head. Real relationships are kind of difficult usually, and you have to learn how to communicate and whatever, all that stuff. And you have to argue and clean things. I'm really not making sense. But anyway, real relationships require work, and hookups don't require any work. Hookups just require, just your body and your excitement and just, So if you are looking for a hookup, and be honest about it, be honest whether or not you're looking for a hookup or a real relationship. A lot of people who want real relationships, a lot of people who say they want real relationships really just want a hookup. And I can't even tell you how many people I've seen like this. There are so many people, and sometimes I think if I'm like that, I don't know. A lot of people that I talk to who say they want real relationships, when push comes to shove, they won't put the work in. They won't, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't want it. Like, you should want it, but when you you should want a real relationship, but a lot of people like really kid themselves. That's what I think. So if you're gonna go on Tinder, you should be honest to yourself. If you want, a lot of people say they want a hookup, but really they want a real relationship. Like, they'll be like, yeah, I want to go on Tinder and have fun. But they're really just looking to commit to somebody. And just know that if you're going to go on Tinder, no one is committing to you. And you can't expect that anyone will commit to you if you fall in love with them. So if you're going to go on Tinder, know that you're probably going to get a hookup, and know that probably nobody is committing to you in any way. I'm getting a lot of negative feedback. This is this is advice for people my age or younger. Okay? I personally did not find happiness on Tinder, but I did find a lot of interesting stories. And I wasn't on Tinder a lot, but like, I found a lot of interesting stories, and it's fun. It's funny. It's fun. You go with your friends and you just like swipe right, swipe left, and you find like all the, you can like rate all the guys that are on it, and treat people like objects. It's so much fun. Oh my gosh, why is everybody getting so mad at this stream? Gosh. Raymond says, because you're looking for love in all the wrong places. Okay, as I have said, if you're going to go on Tinder, you're not looking for love. You are looking for, either you're looking to just mess around, find a funny story, prank somebody. Basically, whatever you're looking for, it's not serious and it's not love. So, there you go. I'm not telling you to go and find love on Tinder. Nobody's telling you to go and find love on Tinder. In fact, I'm telling you, if you want to find love, do not go on Tinder. Do not go on Tinder if you want to find love. But there are plenty of people who are not ready for love, or do not want to find love, or they, for whatever reason in their life, they just got out of a relationship. They're looking for a rebound. They are, stressed out with some crazy thing. They're looking to de-stress. They are bored. They want to have fun. They are, trying to get out of their shell. They're trying to explore the world. There are plenty of people who are the right candidates for a hookup. And if you are one of those people, there are pros to going on Tinder. I'm not telling you should. I'm just telling you there are pros. If you are looking for something that is not love, then there are pros to going on Tinder. Tinder is a way for you to not get involved with people who are in your personal life. So the positive thing about Tinder is that you meet people, you can a few things. First of all, the expectations are very clear on Tinder. That's something that I noticed, actually. There are always, at least in my experience, there are always more complications when you meet the person outside of Tinder than when you meet them on Tinder. Because with Tinder, because it's first a texting relationship. It's not that you meet the person and then you just talk. It's like you're first really just texting. And so you get to know kind of what the person is expecting before Thomas says, looking for a murder victim, Tinder is a place. That's true. Tinder is also a great place to find a murder victim. But anyway, so it's a little clearer, I think, when you're on Tinder, because you're able to tell each other your expectations and everything before you even meet the person. It's not like you're meeting them and then you communicate with your eyes and then the other person's supposed to decipher what you're saying based on like the way that you twitched. You know, like if whatever you want. And there are people who have found real relationships on Tinder. Not a lot of people, but there are people who found real relationships on Tinder. And usually it's whatever you're planning to do on your date or whatever, it's a little clearer. You're going to meet at this place. You know that whoever you're matching with is single or at least doesn't mind being in a sort, is ready to mingle, okay? So they're not like, it's not like you're just gonna hit on some crazy person that does not want to be hit on. You know that that person is interested in you because they swiped right on you on some capacities. And on some capacity, in some capacity, they are interested in you in some capacity. So, the Zodiac Killer. So anyway, that's one pro. What is another pro of Tinder? Another pro of Tinder is, right, the people you meet on Tinder, less complications in your personal life. You meet with them, you don't like them, bye. I don't need to have anything to do with you. You meet with them, you do like them, okay, you get to go out with them a little more, and then you don't like them anymore. Okay, bye. Or they don't like you anymore. Okay, bye. Not a lot of chance for drama because you're not in the same circles, probably. They're not in your world. Random person you met, probably not gonna interfere with your whatever else you're doing. And what else? Another thing is that they're not judging you because they don't know. Usually it's kind of anonymous. Because you don't know who the person is, what they do, there isn't a lot of chance for external factors. Aside from friends, like the person isn't going to be going out with you because of your status or this or that. It's kind of equal. It's like an equal playing field for everybody. So that's another pro. Thomas says, tip of the day, better chance of meeting mate, not wasting time on rambling scope. You can leave. Goodbye. I will not be offended if you leave because you did not like my talk on Tinder. What else? Crazy things on Tinder. I've heard friends' crazy stories on Tinder. But it depending on who you are. Also, another thing is like people do get more, from my experience, the people who try to hook up in real life usually tend to be sleazier. That's just my experience. People always shit on Tinder, but Tinder is a place where people are being honest about what they want, what they expect. For the most, not always, but they're being honest that they want to meet somebody. In real life, and this is all in terms of hookups and not serious stuff. I'm not talking about dating. Real love and dating should stay away from Tinder and should stay away from hookups completely, because it just, whatever. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh my gosh. From my experience, the people who try to get their groove on through like real life, through their relationships, usually, in my opinion, I am not for it at all. How do you know that the person that you are working with has fewer STDs than the person on Tinder? You don't know. How do you know that the person you're working with is a better, more trustworthy person than the person on Tinder? Sometimes those people are sleazier. And you've seen all these stories about people, especially in cable networks like Fox News. You've seen all these stories and you hear about them, and they're still going on. Creepy guys who will creep on the bookers, and they'll hit on everybody in the office. They'll try and coerce women into having sex with them or doing stuff with them. There are all kinds of people like that. People who are married, having affairs, people who are in relationships, cheating on their significant others. There are all kinds of stories like that. And what I always say to myself is, so these are the people who didn't choose to go on Tinder. These people could have easily solved their problem instead of ruining everything in the workplace, creeping on young women at Fox or at wherever, instead of going and having affairs with people in their community, with friends, ruining friends' marriages, going and causing drama. Instead of all that, they could have just gone on Tinder and then forgotten about it. Go on Tinder, do what you gotta do, forget about it. And if you're, and people are like, oh no, you shouldn't go on Tinder, that's a place that's not, okay, you shouldn't go on Tinder, you shouldn't hook up, all that stuff. But if you're gonna hook up and you were gonna do it with people at your office or at your community, and you're gonna cause just everything to just go up in flames, you might as well just go on Tinder, because there is something to be said about, there is something positive about the way that Tinder works. It provides a solution in an effective way. Yeah. People are signing up on Tinder. I don't know if I should believe you. I'm not on Tinder if that's what you're looking for. I am currently not on Tinder, so you can't find me. So, I mean, right, ideally you're going to find love and all that stuff, but I'm talking about for people who are not finding love and who are otherwise about to mess around with their secretary at work, who are otherwise about to try and have a random fling with their friend. If you were going to do that, just go on Tinder, because I promise you it's going to be a way cleaner outcome. All right. So, in terms of finding love and finding love apps, I have never found love on a dating app. I've met people through friends. I think for me, the most effective way of meeting people, like meeting real people, has been through friends. If like literally I'm out with a group of people, you know, some guy my friend introduces me to, usually when it's through friends and when you're there with the friends, you're able to vet the person. Like if you go out with a bunch of friends, the nice thing about that's like the ideal way to meet people. In my opinion, that has been the best way to meet people. If you're all out together, you know, if you want to set someone up, just, you know, if you want to set up your friend, the best way to do it, just invite the two people and all go out together, and then just tell each of the two people, hey, you like that person? Let me set you up. Come on, go out with each other. And it's low pressure because, you know, each person doesn't know about that the other person knows. Even if they do know, they're in a group together, they were having fun anyway, so there's no awkwardness, and you're good. And then you can just go out, and if you don't go out, then whatever, you're hanging out anyway. So that for me, but everyone has like their own way of doing it. For me, that's through friends is always a great way to meet people. I think, because if you're not looking for a fling, so someone is saying, Scene Block says, you have the amazing advantage of being a girl, being a 5 or above, matches guaranteed. Why, thank you for calling me a 5 or above. I think it is easier for women to get matches, but there are just like higher standards for women because men are visual, so women, all they need to do is just look good. And, you know, just swipe right. With men, with men, you can be actually good looking or charming in person, but not photogenic. Usually men are not as photogenic as women. So, like, you might look awkward in your photos or, like, it not have the same effect because women aren't as visual. So it's really hard for a woman to, like, go on Tinder and be like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna be good. That's why, like, Tinder is actually not great for women at all. Like, because you can't know, because women are not visual, right? So, like, you can't know from going on Tinder if, like, you can't really tell which guy is good. Because men are not, I don't know, it's not the same. Men, show the bank account balance, says L. Cohen. Show the bank account balance. That's actually great. That's right, exactly. You can't tell the things that women like in men, you can't necessarily tell when you go on Tinder. Show is asking, I did not say that women don't have eyes. I said women are not visual. They are not stimulated as visually as men are. So, Toastmaster said, had a friend who took pics in front of his porch, lots more swipes. It's a good idea. If you want to get a lot of swipes, just take a picture in front of your porch, whatever. Take pictures in front of your fancy shit, and the women will just swipe right each time. Doesn't matter how ugly you look. It's okay to be ugly if you have money. That's my motto. It's okay to be ugly if you have money. Everyone is twisting my words. Stop it. Stop twisting my words. What about bars? In what scenario should you meet people in bars? Meeting people in bars is actually great. Anybody that I have ever met at a bar was trustworthy. I've only met trustworthy people at bars. Wait. Okay. I've only met trustworthy people at bars that were not introduced to me by friends. I have met 2 people that were introduced to me by friends who were actually awful. Yes. But they weren't really close friends, so they didn't really know me. Yeah. Get set up by your friends who know you. Don't get set up by some random people who don't give a shit. Get set up by people who know you. Actually, scratch the thing I said about bars. I'm just remembering like a bunch of things. Now I'm just remembering things that I didn't remember before because I was shit-faced. So yeah, don't listen to me about the bar thing. Okay, the best way to meet people is through friends. Okay. Colleen says, actually, I met my husband through his friend that I met in a bar and dated 2 years before I married the friend. Oh my gosh. That is so cool. Colleen, I like that. You go, girl. That is amazing. Paul Nye says, met my ex-wife at a bar. Now I'm traumatized. Oh my God. I read somewhere that Mike Cernovich met his wife at a bar, and he said that he doesn't recommend looking for a wife at a bar, even though he's very happy. But he says in general, it's not a good place to meet people. It's not a good place to meet your future wife, but it's okay to meet other people. But anyways, I have met people at bars, and sometimes it's a great experience, and other times it's a bad experience. Here's when it was a bad experience. It was a bad experience when I've met people at bars through friends, because apparently I have a lot of friends, so it's not like one type of friend. I have a lot of different friends, but apparently I have a lot of creepster friends who are friends with creeps. So yeah, generally just meeting like random people who don't know who you are, who aren't trying to come after you because of your background or trying to get information from you. I mean, I had bad experiences with that. Like, if it's a person who doesn't know who you are, you met at a bar, totally, they don't know who you are, they're just meeting you, it's a completely honest interaction. They're not trying to get something from you. With me, the problem with meeting the not great things that I met at a bar, it's usually because in some capacity, they already know you or know who you are, and they're trying to get something. So if you meet them at a bar and you don't know who you are, and you don't know who they are, it's like an honest interaction. Your relationship is purely based on like your interaction in that moment. Paul says, wow, Pardes, that's how I met my ex-wife, through a mutual friend that I ran into a bar. Red flags. Woo! Oh, wow. Wow, okay. Yeah, don't meet people through Friends at bars. Oh my gosh, now that I'm thinking about it, wow. I've had so many bad experiences at bars through friends. People that I met through friends. Or through like groups of friends. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Only meet someone at a bar if they have no clue who you are and you have no clue who they are and you're just having an honest interaction. That's the only time you should meet someone at a bar. 16 High says bars where you get alcoholic drinks usually. Right. Also where you're getting a drink. Jack says, I met my girlfriend at a bar. Should I break up with her? Don't break up with her! No, they're great people. I've met great people at bars. Yeah, I have an ex that I'm like friends with until this day. I met at a bar that is really great. I'm very blessed to have him in my life. Yes. So, Boonsy says, this is getting socially awkward. Gotta go live life, have fun, good night. Woo, have fun, good night. Have fun in Tinder or wherever you are. Since wherever in your life you are. Oh my God. Don't meet people while you're drunk. Don't form relationships with people that you met while you were drunk. Now that I think about it, I was drunk. Oh my God, yeah. Don't form relationships with people that you met don't form relationships while you're drunk. So, basically, the best way to do it, if you are looking for something serious, is asking your friends to set you up. Don't ask your mom to set you up. Just whoever you ask to set you up, don't ask your mom to set you up. Ask somebody else to set you up. That is not your mom. So anyway, ask someone to set you up, your friend, someone who has your best interest or someone who knows you. Like, it doesn't even have to be like, just ask people to set you up. Because I feel like that's the best way to do it. It's kind of like a job. It's kind of like finding a job. If you're going to go online and apply for a million things, if you're just going to go cold calling, and just randomly online apply for a million things, you might get something, but usually it's harder than just networking and getting jobs through friends. The best jobs that I ever had were through people I already knew, or were friends with people I already knew, or were family with people I already knew. The best jobs I had were not the ones that I found randomly online. So it's like that with dating. Like, if you want to do like a temporary, you want like some pocket money, temporary job, something little just to pass you by, okay, the online stuff can be great, help you in the meantime, but yeah, like if you're gonna, networking is really the best thing. Through friends, I think, is really the best way, because yeah. Steph says, are you gonna become a yenta? Maybe. I can be a matchmaker. A shadchan is matchmaker in Hebrew. But anyway, I can be a matchmaker. If anyone is looking for a match, I can set you up. Mimo Bug says family reunions are out. I don't know. I haven't, I grew up being set up with a lot of people. My parents are constantly trying to set me up. Everybody is trying to set me up all the time. But it's really hard with family, because I feel like family doesn't always know what you want, because oftentimes people can be very discreet when it comes to their families. And oftentimes family does not know or care what you want. They just want to set you up with whoever they think is like the ideal thing for you to have, regardless of how it like might have nothing to do with you. So family can be very like, family can be very idealistic in terms of like what they want. They tend to be very emotionally invested. So the good thing about friends is that they're usually not emotionally invested. Usually, if it's, if they're setting you up with someone, it's usually just, they're just setting two people up. They're not emotionally invested. Steph asks if I'm doing Anchor tonight. I'm not doing Anchor tonight, and the reason for that is because I can't find the phone that I do Anchor on. So I still have to find it. It's very frustrating, and it's very frustrating that I can't find the phone that I do Anchor on. Ugh! So frustrating. But anyway, L. Cohen says, please girl, go to the bookstore, go up to the first guy you like, ask what he's reading, done. That's a good idea. Should try that. I should do like I want to do like a social experiment, like the best way to find a guy, and then just like do like go and do video stuff. That'd be fun. Thomas says Trumpsters tend to date family. Well, there's a lot I have to say about that when it comes to. Okay, I'm not going to say it. I told myself I'm not going to say political stuff. I'm not going to bash people in politics. I'm going to try really hard to not say anything about congresswomen who may or may not have dated a family member. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. So the thing is about asking people out is that it's a lot harder now because there's so many. It's harder to ask people out. It's not hard for women. I feel like it's easier. Like I've asked people out. I've asked people out, but for men, I think it's harder because there's such a it's such a shaky it's really hard for a man to hit on women without being worried that he's going to be called a creep or sexually harassing. So for men, I think men are always scared of being a creep or sexually harassing women. Like I've had so many situations where I was describing like a scenario with like, oh, or someone else was describing like, oh yeah, there was a creepy guy. He was doing this creepy thing. And then like the other guys, like my guy friends in the room would be like, oh, is that me? Like, am I creepy too? Is that when I was hitting on that girl earlier? Was I being creepy? Like, is that how people see me? Is that how women see me? Like I'm sexually harassing them or I'm creepy? And it's like, no. But that's how men think nowadays. Men are afraid nowadays to be like in any way. To pursue women aggressively or even just pursuing women in any in any way, don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. But there are many men who are just afraid of pursuing women because they're just afraid of, and because there's so much consequences for men that aren't necessarily there for women, honestly. I feel like I can ask anybody out and I won't be called a creep. Usually. I mean, I don't know. Probably. I feel like I can probably ask people out and nobody's going to call me a creep. Yeah. But for men, I think it's a lot harder to have that, to not have that worry. And the funny thing is, usually it's not the men. Usually the people who are constantly worrying about being creeps are like far from it. If you're constantly worried about being a creep, usually you're not the kind of person who's a creep. Like, usually it's the people who just like never ever worried ever about being a creep. Oh my God, am I a creep? I'm kidding. Diacritical 1 says, stay out of the high schools and you are golden. Yeah, don't go creeping around in high schools. Usually it doesn't work well if you do that. But yeah, any questions before we log off and have a wonderful evening with our Tinder dates? I'm kidding. Any questions? Show says, what about if I'm not worried about it at all? Then you're great. You're the best. Roy says, I nearly succeeded for the first time in my life in a potential relationship. That's great. Nearly. You nearly succeeded? Oh, Roy says she had a boyfriend. Oh my gosh. So you were dating someone and you thought it was going well until you found out she had a boyfriend. Oh my God. That's like, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry. That girl's a total hoe. And, I don't understand why people, if you're going to cheat, like, why don't you just break up with your SO first? Just break up. If you don't either, just tell the person, like, you suck, I don't feel like being with you, or you're boring, I don't feel like, I'm not attracted to you anymore, I don't feel like touching you, or I found someone that I like more than you. Why do you have to, like, complicate things? Oh. Roy said that the girl wasn't, she was not cheating on her boyfriend. She had a boyfriend and she didn't realize that, and she wasn't thinking of it as, so you were friend zoned. She thought of you as a friend. You thought of it as dating. Okay. So that's like another thing. Men do not want to be friend zoned. They don't want to be your friend. That's like the hardest thing for me, because I'm always like, I want to be friends with you before I date you, because I don't want to date someone who just wants to date me because I don't want to date someone who just wants to date me because I don't know. Like, I want to date someone because I have like a real connection and I'm friends. But the thing is, like, men don't want to be friend zoned. So it's kind of a tricky situation. But yeah, that's real. Men don't want to be friend zoned, and it makes a lot of sense because women are cool with, even if women don't want to date you, like, they're cool with being your friend, like, forever. So women will totally be cool with being your friend forever, even if she never, ever, ever, ever plans on ever going out with you. So, yeah, I can see why men don't want to be friend zoned. Roy says, even though she was exceptionally nice until she blew me off. Oh, wow. Maybe she was really nice and then she realized that you thought of it as more than friends. I have so many awkward situations where I didn't read between the lines. I have a lot of different weird situations. Like, I have so many situations where I thought my friend, like, I thought a guy was, like, I mixed up people's sexualities. I've mixed up, I didn't realize if someone was, whether they were married or single or this and that. I always try to be just neutral with everybody because I don't know. So like I don't want to embarrass myself. So I'm always just like neutral with everybody. All right. Legit says, I would marry you though. Thank you. Is that a proposal? You're going to send me a ring? It has to be really only $10,000 and higher. So, any last questions before we log off? We had any last questions before we log off? All right. Thank you for joining me in this beautifully, intensely, and hopefully enlightening dating sesh. Funny dating story. Someone is asking for a funny dating story. One second. Let me think if I have a funny dating story. Funny dating story. Oh gosh. I can't say my funny dating story. Oh man. I fell asleep on a date once. In the car. I fell asleep in the date in the car, and I was supposed to be like giving directions to the guy, and the guy was like, and he was really nice, so he didn't want to wake me up, so we were basically just going like zooming on the freeway without having a direction because I was sleeping. So another thing about, so if someone is saying about women who are interested in you, another thing about women, like men are often afraid to like approach women because they're afraid to like be considered, you know, too aggressive or like sexually harassing or being creepy. But I think because of like hookup culture, I think there are fears with women too. I think the thing with women is that women are afraid to seem like they want to be in a serious relationship. Like women are afraid because women usually are more serious than men when it comes to relationship. Not always, but usually. Just biologically, for a woman, it's really biologically women tend to, especially if you've had like physical contact or something, like they're gonna want to be close with you and have like form like an emotional relationship. And so the thing is that because of hookup culture, like because of the way that and it's fine, but it's like people should just know this, like because they're expected to just like be cool with it afterwards, women are often afraid of showing like they're actually serious about a relationship. I think a lot of women are afraid to show that they actually are in any way emotionally invested in a relationship. So yeah, there are fears in both sides of the island. There are fears. Okay. So, yeah, I have to think about dating stories for next time. I have to think about the dating story that I would want to mention. I don't have like an insane... I do have insane, but I'll have to think about them for next time. Anyway, have a good evening, everybody. See you all tomorrow night. Feel free to send me topics. Someone was telling me, like, this is great, no politics. Good. I'm happy you like this, and I'm happy that you don't feel like you miss politics. Because hopefully this is a little departure from the stress of politics for you. So feel free to send me your ideas. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. If you're on Periscope, go over to YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like this video, heart this video on Periscope, like it on YouTube, and see you all tomorrow night.